Hey everyone, I'm Claudia Faust, and with me today is mixed martial artist Ryan Bader. He's the first Bellator fighter to hold belts in both the light heavyweight and heavyweight divisions. And he's also a Sun Devil, so let's kind of start there. You wrestled at ASU, three-time Pac-12 champion, All-American. Do you have a most memorable match from your time at ASU?
Um, my most memorable match was probably my last one. I was I was an All American. It was my last collegiate match ever, and I was going against the number one ranked guy in the country at the time. He beat me prior, and it wasn't for first or second, but it was an All American round, and I hit this double leg and just blew him off his feet, which I didn't do in collegiate wrestling. I was more like pull the head down and stuff like that, and it was just special because it was something new, and I beat the guy that was ranked number one that beat me before, all that kind of stuff. And it was kind of the last competition in collegiate wrestling. And, it was a special one that I look back on, but there was other ones of rivalries. I had a rivalry with a Cal Poly guy. I beat him every single time, and he always kind of like got physical after. And so anytime I beat him was always a good day too.
So do you have a favorite memory off the mat with the wrestling team that, maybe when you all get together, it's the one story that somehow always comes up?
Oh, I got way too many, and they wouldn't be appropriate for this interview. I mean, you got to understand, I was there for 5 years. I registered my first year, and we had a group of about 35 crazy wrestlers, around us the whole time. And we all lived together. We were all really close knit, really close friends, and I just remember coming to ASU to Tempe when I was a senior in high school on my recruiting trip. And, they always take you out, show you a good time and all that kind of stuff. And I remember, right away, the guys were amazing. And, and we had an amazing time that I was like, I'm coming to ASU for sure, And so we had a good dynamic of fun. But then when wrestling season was there, I was, straight edge, all, committed, that whole thing. But man, my most fond memories, we never got a spring break because nationals was always that week. We would go down to Rocky Point, Mexico the week after. And I'm talking back in 2001, 2002, when there was absolutely nobody there at that time. And we kind of watched that place grow, and we would just have fun with each other.
I love it. So how did your success in wrestling at ASU kind of translate to your career in MMA?
I believe a lot of it's the mentality. We know how to get a result by putting in the work, basically. And so a fight camp translates pretty well from a wrestling season, or you have a duel coming up and you're peaking and you're training for that. And yeah, I believe it's more obviously the physicality stuff comes around, right? And we're always lifting, we were always wrestling, we were training. We were the track team, the swim team, everything. That's how much, that's how hard we worked. And so when you had an MMA fight, there was really nothing different besides the physical stuff. Like, oh, you have to learn stand-up jiu-jitsu and all that kind of stuff. But the mentality was the same. We're working towards a goal, and we're going to put in the right amount of work to get and be successful, and accomplish that goal. And so I believe like wrestlers are some of the hardest working people on earth. And it translates over to MMA. You see a lot of the champions are former wrestlers.
So your nickname is Darth Vader. Are you actually a big Star Wars fan, or did the name just kind of like work out?
Yeah, no, I'm not actually. I don't even know if I've seen the whole Star Wars, and people get pissed. They'll come up and reference a Star Wars deal, and I'm like, huh? And they're like, oh, how diehard fans, Star Wars fans are. I kind of got that in collegiate wrestling at ASU. There used to be wrestling forums, and this guy would always call me Darth. I was close to the program and would call me that when I was in the wrestling room. And then I went to my first MMA gym, and they started calling me that. I'm like, well, I guess that's my nickname, and then it was better than Master.
So you're preparing.
If you get that joke.
So you're preparing for this next fight here in Arizona. How did the logistics of your fight camp change because you're training here in Arizona?
Nothing changed. We bring guys in and to emulate your opponent. So last fight, I was fighting Lyoto Machida, who is very hard to emulate. It's very hard to find guys. So I had to bring in different karate guys, all that kind of stuff. Now I'm fighting a wrestler with good hands and good striking. I've been training with those guys forever, and so I really didn't have to do too much, And so for me, it's just keeping the same routine. I'm going to go to the hotel on Monday, the week prior, basically, and do the same thing I've done the last 35 fights. The only difference is I can drive there, that's it. And so that's a big thing for me, keeping everything consistent and keeping everything the exact same, because I know how I perform when I do that. I know my routine. I know how to feel the best when I walk out in that cage on Saturday night. And so nothing's changed.
So you've won 8 of your last 10 fights. How does that momentum kind of help your mindset coming into this one?
Yeah, you go through a lot of different emotions, when a fight comes about, when it gets closer, when it's a week of, and it's good to kind of check yourself and realize, like, all right, I am that good. Go back and look at your record and the guys you beat, and we've done a whole lot more of winning than we did done losing. So for me, it's just kind of trusting myself and my training, and really not overthink it. Just go in there and just let it go, because when I overthink it, that's when it doesn't go so well. When I go in there and I'm free and I can just do my thing, I've been doing this for so long, that's when I find my best. And so momentum is a huge deal. I've won the heavyweight Grand Prix already. I'm in this light heavyweight Grand Prix. I've done this before. You take it one fight at a time and knock those fights out, and all of a sudden you're in the finals, and all of a sudden you have a belt around your waist. And that's how I kind of approach this whole tournament format.
How excited are you that Bellator is coming back to your home state and it's at the Footprint Center?
Very excited. I was talking to Scott Coker, who runs Bellator, and he was kind of asking about Phoenix, and I was like, man, we got to get into Phoenix. I promise you, diehard MMA fans here, they don't get too many fights, and when they do, they show up, and so then it looked like it was going to be in California for a while. I'm like, man, I almost, this is my chance, because I've never fought in Phoenix before. And then I showed up to do some analyst work for Bellator, and they said, hey, we finally got him. Like, you got what? He's like, we're going to Phoenix. So I was like, oh yeah. Like, for me, it's just one of those bucket list things that, like I said, I've never fought in the city of Phoenix. I've fought in Indian Reservation a couple times outside of Camp Verde, but never here. And so to be able to share that experience with my fans, my friends and family, it's great for them, great for me. And it's just one of those things that I wanted to do in my career.
So what would you say to someone who's never been to an MMA fight? This is coming just, a little over a week away. There's still time to make it out there. What do you want people to know about the environment?
It's so much different watching it live than watching it on TV. You can hear every little punch, kick. You can hear the guys, on TV, you're kind of removed from it. And when you're there, it's almost like you're in the cage a little bit, and it's definitely a great show. And then, there's so many different fights too. And the ones you would least expect turn out to be amazing fights. And there's a lot on the line. We got, my fight here with Corey Anderson, and then you got, the other fight in the tournament also. So, to deem who goes into the finals and who's fighting for the belt, So it's a great night of fights with arguably 3 of potentially 4 of the best light heavyweights in the world right now.
Okay, so you're cutting weight for this fight coming up on the 16th, but how's your training and nutrition plan going to change after that to prepare to defend the heavyweight title?
Yeah, that's the thing. If I win this fight, I'm back at 205 for one more fight, right? So when I fight heavyweight, I eat more. I always eat healthy, whole foods, real food. I just eat more, and I do a little more emphasis on my strength training, because I like to be a good 230, 235, solid, not 235 like waking up kind of deal. Where now, I mean, I woke up at 219 this morning, and so it's one of those things where I've also figured out that I don't want to be that big. I don't want to be 240, which I have been. I feel the best when I'm around that, when I show up to fight week, that 230 mark, fighting at heavyweight. I'm fast. I'm just as strong as everybody else. I have great endurance. My joints feel good, so there's just a little switch in the camp where, all right, I'm not out eating terribly. I'm just eating more healthy stuff, more emphasis on the strength training and everything else.
Okay, last question. We have to address it. Where are you going right now?
I'm headed to the gym. I did a few interviews. Sorry, I'm a little herky jerky on the Zoom, but I'm going to train right now. I'm doing kind of a simulation sparring. So it's Friday, basically a week before the fight. I'm going to go in there, blow my lungs out. And after that, I'm going to a recovery place. I'm hitting the cold tub, the hot tub, cold tub, hot tub, back and forth. And that's it for the weekend. Then I'm going to take the whole weekend off, which is hard for me to do because I'm one of those guys that like to put in a lot of work and might take the reins and say, all right, we're pulling back. You need to chill. No working out this weekend, no thinking about it. And we get to fight week. And like I said, we do a little quarantine, 24 hours in a hotel. And then basically I'm in the hotel, I'm working out, getting my meals in, getting my weight cut. And then the fun part is Saturday night, October 16th, when I get to fight in front of the hometown crowd, go out there and show what I've been working on. And, that's the fun part, getting your hand raised at the fight.
Hey, well, best of luck to you. Enjoy your weekend off as much as you can. Showtime will televise the main card of Bellator MMA 268 live at 7 p.m. Pacific time, and you can catch all 10 of the action-packed preliminary fights live streaming 3 hours earlier at 4 p.m. on the Bellator MMA YouTube channel, Showtime Sports YouTube channel, and Pluto TV.